Oh man, what's going on, guys? It's your girl Nene Adams. I'm here with Katrina Day.
Hey y'all, how's it going?
That's good. And Vaughn Walker.
What's up? What's good with y'all?
Jeff Jackson will be joining us here in a little bit later on the couch. But sorry guys for all the technical difficulties. I'm looking down like the camera's not on.
You might want to look right there.
It's right there. The camera's
Camera's
right there.
here.
Okay, we still get out.
I'm gonna put these headphones on because I want to hear everybody.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But thank you guys for tuning in today with us. And things are gonna get changed just a little bit, but we're gonna make sure that we get Kyson on here. So that way we can talk to him about his organization. So let's go ahead and do that first.
Let's do it.
How you doing, my brother?
Hi. Thanks for having me.
With the high. Real cool
Welcome.
spirit already.
Yes, welcome to the show, to UGR. Thank you for coming on. We talked a little bit earlier, so we appreciate you and salute you for everything that you're doing. So we do have a few questions for you, and I know it's kind of late, but we're going to go ahead and have this conversation because like I told you, I want people to support your organization, especially the youth, to be that change that they constantly speak about. So my question for you is this. Montgomery County has funds specifically allocated to public safety and MCPS. So the police are in and out of the schools. What other resources is Montgomery County against brutality proposing to county officials to reallocate those funds?
Yeah, we've been working a lot with council members Will Jawando and Hans Bremer to appropriate funds to different things we'd like to see in MCPS schools. So right now, MCPS lacks a lot of fundamental supports for our students, specifically mental health supports. And so what we'd like to see and what we propose to the council members to see in MCPS schools is a clinical social worker model. Clinical social workers are social workers that are also trained to deliver mental health and therapeutic services, which are absent in MCPS. And what we propose is that each school resource officer or armed police officer is replaced by a clinical social worker who is not only trained to deliver therapeutic services to the general student population, but they're also able to coordinate with restorative justice coordinators, teachers, counselors, even security and school psychologists to support each student in a holistic way. We've also asked for council members to implement restorative justice training and hire restorative justice practitioners for each high school so that we can move away from punitive punishment like suspensions, expulsions, and arrests that happen in some circumstances towards restorative approaches that will change the nature of the school and nurture our students in every way possible. Restorative justice consists of a variety of things: conflict resolution without punitive punishment, peaceful de-escalation, nurturing healthy relationships among students and also with staff, and just generally practicing a proactive approach to school discipline and preventing harmful and dangerous behavior. And then a lot of people that we've met with have introduced concerns about crime prevention. And I think what MCPS and the county council has been doing thus far to prevent crime is putting police officers in schools and criminalizing our students in high schools, which has terrible, terrible consequences. And so what we would like to see is a more proactive approach to crime prevention. There are organizations that works with MCPS like the Street Outreach Network that are able to converse with students and their families and figure out how they can support students to make sure that they're not engaging in crime instead of arresting them and sending them to juvenile detention centers.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a question about that when it comes to like crime prevention like that. What about after school programs such as keeping, teenagers busy? Because I know when I was younger, I would engage in mischief if I was bored, and that was directly because there was not a whole lot of after school programs. So I feel like, when my father was younger, he would have shop classes and things like that, and home ec and things like that. Is that something that those organizations are actually shooting for, or is that just not on the table?
I don't know specifically each and every organization, but I know that there are some that I've talked to the council members about that engage in like after school youth development activities. I think also in addition to that, there can be the clinical social workers and restorative justice coordinators that'll link students and families with programs and after school activities that they can participate in to keep them busy. But I know that the Street Outreach Network and a variety of other after school hubs engage in those kinds of things.
Okay, yeah, I think that after school programs is definitely a big part of keeping our youth out of trouble.
Yeah, and they do that. When I was at Walker's Mill and I was coaching there, we had a rec zone that they had there. So the kids would go after school and they would participate in activities. They even had a DJing class. I was psyched about that.
Okay,
DJing class. So you got to learn how to be a DJ. I signed
that
up
right
for that
there
one.
is definitely something that our youth would be interested in.
Yeah,
real talk.
It will be. It will be. I know Katrina Day has a question for you.
Yes. Just one thing, just to even recap what you said, most importantly, being proactive instead of reactive. So in your bio, I know that you had mentioned that you would like to reform the racist criminal justice system. What approaches are you using to achieve this goal?
So we are a relatively new organization and also a student organization led by students. So our approaches are not like as solidified, but I think that our key principle is mobilizing students and youth to get involved in this issue. So we've done a lot of stuff to educate students and youth in our county to become more aware about the fundamental wrongs of our criminal justice system. We've had community events and forums that describe how punitive school discipline leads to inequity in schools and fuels the school to prison pipeline. We've also had workshops about police brutality, laws that result in the criminalization of survival, the terrible, terrible wrongs in our judicial system and the prison system as a whole, which I think I would at least argue is almost slavery, at least. And so we've had a lot of different community events that educated a bunch of people in Montgomery County about those issues. And then also we like to act as a channel for students and youth to get involved in advocacy. And so in our organization, people are allowed to lead their own projects. If there's something that they'd like to change within our county or in our state, they can suggest a project and lead their project on their own. And so in that way, we really mobilize students and youth to get involved in advocacy and impact change on an individual grassroots level.
I like that. Real quick before Vaughn goes in has COVID impacted that though? Because you know how the advocacy, getting out there, putting a face to a name with the organization. Have you seen any pushback because of COVID?
Yeah, we have seen, there's just a lot of guidelines that have to be followed. I think we figured out ways for in-person actions at least to make sure that they're COVID safe, but there are also a variety of actions that we can participate in over Zoom. There's like Zoom crafting. You go to different town halls that council members and elected officials are holding, and you ask questions and disrupt the call to impact our agenda. There's a variety of things that we've been able to do to get around COVID and also participate in in-person actions that are COVID safe.
That's great. That's great.
Okay. Well, let's talk about your most recent campaign to support 4620. Can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Bill 4620 is a bill that was introduced by Councilmember Will Juando and Councilmember Hans Reamer, and I think it's also co-sponsored by Councilmember Tom Hucker, and it's supposed to end the school resource officer program and remove armed police from MCPS high schools. So our organization, Moco Against Brutality, is a member of the Montgomery County Defund the Police Coalition. And so we've been doing a lot of work with them to get this bill passed. We began in the summer, basically around August, meeting with a bunch of council members to figure out their stances on the bill. Councilmember Will Juando introduced this actually twice before, and it failed both times. So we were trying to figure out who voted for it, who voted against it, how we can get the people who voted against it to vote for it. We worked with Councilmembers Juando and Reamer to craft appropriations, which would allocate funding to different programs, the ones that I was talking about earlier, like restorative justice and clinical social workers. We've also, again, held forums and discussions to engage community members and help people, students, and community members learn about what's going on in our county and the problems with this program and how they can work to remove it. We've been harsh critics of the Board of Education's process to review the program. I actually was in the MCPS SRO work group, which was conducted very poorly. It overrepresented police officers and MCPS central office staff, and didn't listen to the voices of Black students who were in the group who this issue would primarily affect. So I wrote a letter with a bunch of other students from the working group talking about why the Board of Education and County Council shouldn't consider the recommendations of that working group because the group was conducted poorly, and also why we should remove SROs because us as students don't support them. And then we've also worked with a variety of Board of Education members, Nick Asante and Lynn Harris. And I think that one of the greatest things that we've been able to do is mobilize students to testify in front of the County Council and Board of Education. On the hearing for Bill 4620, we were able to mobilize, I think, 31 students and people in MCPS and in Montgomery County to testify for the bill. And then right now we're meeting again with council members and Board of Education members to solidify support. And we're also doing research into more student supports and alternative safety plans. So that's kind of where we're at now.
I do have a question. When you going back a little bit, when you said to defund the police, as far as like, where are the funds that when you defund the police, where the funds are going to be allocated to? Are you talking about exactly what you're talking about now, as far as like the programs? Is that where the money is going to be funneled to, or is it just erase? Just don't give them any money at all. Like I kind of want to for the audience so they can be educated on that.
So right now, what we're trying to do with the school resource officer program is eliminate the program. Those officers will be put back into the police force. And then the money that was being used to pay those officers, I think it's about $3 million, is going to be invested into, it's a lot of money, is going to be invested into clinical social workers, restorative justice, and other crime preventing measures. So those things that I talked about earlier specifically is where the money is supposed to be going as of right now.
Okay.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you for standing up on behalf of everyone else. So I do commend you on that one. So thank you for doing that. So how can people get involved with your organization? I know you said it's new, but if you wanted to get people out there and supporting you guys, what can they do to sign up? Please give them any platform, Facebook, social media, whatever, so they can go out there and be proactive like you talk about.
So our Instagram is at Moco Against Brutality, and our Twitter is at MCA Brutality. In both of the bios for those social medias, we have a Linktree website that has a link to, or has a bunch of links to a variety of things that people can do to get involved. I think some of the things I'd like to highlight were, and you can sign an action alert, which I think is the first link at the top of the Linktree, which would send a letter to the people in the county council to say that you don't support having police in schools, that you'd like them to be removed and replaced with the things that I talked about today. There's also the interest form. If you're a young person, a student who would like to get involved in our organization, you can fill out that interest form and then join our Slack, which is a app that we use to organize our members. And if you don't have the time or you don't want to get directly involved in the organization, we have a newsletter that you can sign up for so you can stay updated with our organization, the things that you can do to get involved and the things that we're doing. And so those are the things that I think people could get involved in right now.
Okay.
Definitely. That sounds great. We definitely look forward to seeing what we can do to support you at UGR and getting that word out there. You're very informative, very young, very smart, and we appreciate you for taking the time to come and talk to us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're a lot more organized.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for your patience too as well.
Definitely. So we're gonna, I definitely gotta get you back on the show too.
Oh yeah.
Definitely got to do that. Please, people want to talk more about the police brutality and reforms and how it involves with law. So we'll definitely get you back on here too. All right. Well, definitely have a good night. And we'll talk later.
And get up for class in the morning, 9 a.m. All right, take care.
All right, guys, make sure you definitely reach out to him. Actually, what was that? Moco Against Brutality. I don't think we had those when we were younger. We didn't have organizations, at least that I don't remember. I don't remember having organizations like that.
What's up, Mr. Jackson?
Well, crazy.
Welcome.
Got him back
to the set.
Welcome back. He then came on the set. He's saying he's gonna get himself situated real quick.
Somewhat.
Guess what? I found that cable.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah. Guess where's that?
Where's that?
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
That's crazy.
In the kitchen.
You were saying that we didn't have those programs. That's because it wasn't recognized like it is now.
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
Police brutality wasn't believable back then. Anybody believed that it was going on. Black Lives Matter is what brought it out.
You know what happened? We all got cell phones with cameras on them.
Oh, yeah.
HD
I
Technology.
was
cameras.
about to say that. I was about to say social
Technology
media.
changed.
You know,
Social
Yeah.
media
That's
and,
number one.
and HD cameras is what did it.
But I don't want to show my age, but everybody knew about Rodney King, though. You know what I mean?
Wait,
When that stuff came out, though, you saw.
Was you like 3?
Be quiet. It don't matter, though. It don't matter, though. But you see little instances like
It happened
that.
in 97.
You know what I'm saying?
But,
Yeah.
but
That ain't having 97.
It was 96. I'm 93.
Yeah, 93.
93, my bad. But
I was a baby. I was
I
too
was
young.
history class. Y'all.
but even back in 93, the system was still different.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
the
was.
system was 100% different. But
Mhm.
camera phones now, you be that thing. Hey, everybody.
Right.
And what's
hold
crazy
up.
is sometimes even you have
I'm
that.
seeing you.
It don't mean that the person's getting in trouble for it.
Right. But
You
to
know,
make it
record
more
everything.
prevalent even to this time, it's like just simply how with George Floyd.
Yeah.
Think about that as for those that were just scrolling on Facebook or even Instagram, and you scroll down, you actually see, you know, a man lose his life right in front of you, you know, and you
Right.
see that. So social media has definitely brought some things more to the forefront,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It definitely has.
you know.
It definitely has. And but how y'all? Look, we didn't even get to start with how everybody's day
We
was.
did it.
Like it's been y'all gotta understand. Today's been a
Yo.
crazy
Yeah,
day.
it's been hectic, man.
It's been hectic.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody got full-time jobs.
just setting up,
we
and
struggling.
that, not just that, but setting up the show.
Send them the
That-
show.
Definitely
Yeah,
something to show,
set
but
up the
also
show.
I barely almost didn't make it here. Let me just throw this out. Do not wear slides when it's ice outside.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, don't do that.
I did fall. I fell on my hip. I am praying that everything is okay tomorrow morning. Put some icy hat on it. But yeah, don't wear slides.
Yeah,
Don't wear
please
slides.
don't. Please
You know, I got my boots on now. I got feet.
There you go.
Winter boots.
That's
No
good.
There you go.
Hopefully, hopefully it's secure.
Oh,
Definitely secure. But no, today's been good. Actually, y'all, literally, that trip to Puerto Rico was amazing.
amazing.
I'm telling people to travel. The reason I tell people to travel more is because I feel like they should get out and expose themselves to other cultures and not be limited to what they know in their little bubble. I get it. COVID is out here and this, that, and the third. But get out and travel. There's obviously we all went to Puerto Rico, came back, we're fine. At least I hope. You good?
I got to test. I'm good.
I mean, technically,
I don't
y'all ain't
know.
been back long enough to even know. But
Hold on, talk about.
He's right.
Come on.
He's
It's been
right
a
about
week.
that.
It's
He's
7
right.
days.
He's right.
7 days.
7 days.
It's
not.
been
No, it hasn't.
Yeah, we gonna talk about
It
that.
hasn't been.
But
7
travel
days.
not
It
to
has been
escape
7
life.
days. Yeah, we
But for
came back on
life
the
not to
15th.
escape you. That's rule number one.
Yeah,
Hold up.
time is.
But guess
Yeah,
what?
we've been back.
You still could be asymptomatic though. So even though it's 7 days, y'all
What's
still
good,
be
Jeff?
asymptomatic.
What's good? What's good?
Hey, y'all could be in here getting me all infected and everything.
But let me go
We don't
ahead
wanna
and
do
put this out there too. I did get sunburned because I did not listen to my friend when they said put some, sunscreen on. So if y'all see
You
this
need
ash,
sunblock?
I'm gonna go ahead and just put that out there before y'all say, yo, she was looking real ashy in the forehead. I got sunburn right there. So
Well, we didn't even notice it till then.
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
okay.
I didn't notice it. You
well,
called it
I'm
out.
laugh at my own.
Yep,
joke.
yeah.
And I feel like
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm the lightest one in here. I feel like I should be the one
Y'all
talking
just
about
snort.
that.
Sorry, y'all. Y'all weren't supposed to hear that too soon. But,
I'm the lightest person in here, so I
You
feel like I
are.
should have been talking.
You
about
are definitely.
All right, arm.
Let me go ahead.
that.
Arms. Let me go ahead because I definitely did not bless this room.
Yes, you did.
You know what I'm saying? I think that was the problem too. We ain't started off on the right
Okay.
foot. I didn't bless the ambiance. You know what I mean? So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Ain't gonna be long.
Okay.
But let me do that. Bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you, and we all come to you, God, with open hearts, open minds, and we just thank you for this day. No matter all the setbacks and the challenges, we just thank you for who you are because you're bigger than all of our problems and you can handle everything. So we give all of our trust to you. And we also want to specifically give a prayer and a shout out and support and love to those that are in Texas that are right now going through a lot, adversity, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. God, we pray that you will send a spirit down there and love on them of comfort, God, and bless them as they're going through this difficult time. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So, whew, I feel better now. Already.
My space is always blessed. It must be y'all came in here with the bad juju. 'Cause
Oh, that's how you
Jesus is up in this thing.
Okay.
Y'all like y'all have my
Yeah.
sleeve with me.
Yeah.
Normally,
You got-
stages.
see?
when 2 or 3 are gathered, he is there. He's
Now, if
there
you walk
among
past the
us.
dining room, it might be a little different. But this area right here, Jesus here.
Wait, what y'all say? My kids in the corner.
No, I said past that. They
That's
good.
the dining room.
They
I love
good
it.
right there. So it's
I
like
definitely
past
love
that.
it. But I want to get on to on this day with Day.
Yeah.
Talk about that. So let's do
So,
that.
Hey y'all, it's Katrina Day, and this is On This Day with Day. So what I'm gonna do is just share some events that have occurred in the past on February 22nd. Some you may know, Some you may not know, but either way, you're going to learn today. All right. So in 1865, Tennessee adopts a new constitution that is abolishing slavery. In 2014, the 45th NAACP Image Awards. For the 12th year, a slave wins Outstanding Motion Picture. And lastly, in 2017, Jay-Z becomes the first rapper to be inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. So stay tuned till next show to find out more about On This Day with Day.
I love that, girl. Look, you got your own little thing.
Ew.
Name, everything. Okay, look at this. On This Day with Day. Make sure y'all go ahead and follow her on Instagram. You should give your Instagram page out there right now.
Instagram shout out. Katrina Day. You can also follow me on TikTok. Yo, I'm almost at 1,000 likes. I'm 1,000 likes. Let me get that together. Trying to get to 10,000 followers. Let me put that out there. Please follow me, Katrina Day. All right, no,
it's cool. I'll get you out there. That's the plan. That's the plan for this show is to make sure that platform gets used for everybody. Laughing with Jeff, man. I want to hear the joke of the day.
Man, I ain't even prepared one.
You got to come off the cuff, man. That's what it is.
My off the cuff jokes. Safe for work. NSFW. Not safe for work. I ain't got no joke. Don't worry. I'm gonna come up with a joke in the middle of the show. So we just gonna talk.
You know what? That's the best ones, though. Out of nowhere.
Right.
It's all about timing. You just
exactly.
You just can't say, okay, I'm gonna say a joke at 7:30.
And guess what? And then when the joke hit, I'm like, that's it.
That's it. That was
a joke. And people will know what it is because everybody's gonna be laughing at that.
Right. We're just gonna tag it in there.
I dig it.
I don't know.
Maybe
I want to say something about big girls. I don't know. Big guys. I don't know. Maybe I just gotta.
We don't know what it's
a whole bunch of mail.
I could
a whole lot of comments on that.
I could. We don't know where it's going to go.
Oh my god!
But don't worry. Next week I will have a slight joke.
A slight joke.
It'll be a build up. It'll be one of these little alley-oop jokes.
Throw it up
from the bottom.
Throw it up. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. No, for real. Vaughn, what do you have for us?
So, we're talking about current events right now, man, and one of the biggest current events, especially for our community right now, because I'm all about that currency. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And right now, the big
bills.
craze right now is this cryptocurrency. Now, a lot of people don't really, aren't that familiar with it now at the moment, but it has been going on since like 2012, 2013. And I actually got privy to crypto such as like Bitcoin in 2013. Now, I was skeptical like everybody else. Let's be real about it. You're talking about a digital money. I don't know. I didn't know. Let me feel that paper.
Need to touch it.
I need to touch it. So I didn't really fully understand it then. But I had a shot of actually investing in it when it was a whole lot cheaper than what it is right now. Like I'm talking about like maybe like $50.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
right now, what is it at? Like 50,000?
It's like 38K. Let me go ahead and look it up real quick because
it's like 38K, I think.
No, it's more than
it's
that.
It's more than that?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more than that.
All right, but don't believe Cash App
right now.
Cash App say like 38K.
Right now it's at 52,000.
Jeez.
Per
Bitcoin.
You can probably buy a piece of it for 38K, but you can't buy a whole one.
Nah, you can't buy a whole one right now. You can buy
pieces of
it.
Yeah.
And that's actually what I want to talk to people about too, because a lot of people think when they see and it's the same thing with stocks too. Especially with right now the technology that's available now, especially with stocks and Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency, you can buy portions of it or fractions of it. So you can still participate in the growth of the stock or the cryptocurrency fractional. So you don't have to have $52,000 to buy a crypto. You know what I'm saying? Or like a Bitcoin or whatnot, or even any other stocks or whatnot. So you can actually start investing in crypto or stocks with $10. When you think about it, that's $10. I mean, you can get a chicken box for $10. Okay.
Stop doing Uber Eats.
You know what I'm saying? Uber Eats, actually, you can.
You spend too much money on Uber Eats.
Listen. There's some conveniency there. Let's keep it real.
I already got the membership with Uber Eats, so I don't care what y'all say.
No, not $20 for a tuna sandwich.
I understand. There's there's different ways of getting around that. You know what I mean? But
I got you.
Straight for the culture, man. We got to start really thinking about other ways of making money and not just the 9 to 5. It's like everybody honestly we got 4 people here. Everybody should have at least 1 or 2 or 3 different ways of getting money.
Yeah.
I look at the generation before us, which was our parents,
Mhm.
and they always talk about a job, and that's one source of income.
Right.
Nah, man, there's too many ways. Now, granted, during their time, they didn't have the access. It was there, but it just wasn't as accessible for us. What we gotta do is pick up this phone.
Yeah.
That's literally it. They didn't have to do. They had to go to the library. They may have to talk with a few different people to figure things out. So I kind of give y'all the benefit of the doubt. All right, even though I'm sitting here like, nah, y'all maybe should have taken some time out of your week to figure that out.
Yeah. To plan something.
To plan something. But again, in their defense, it was a little bit harder.
Right.
For us, we literally just got to do this. Spend 30 minutes and bam, we know what to do.
Right.
So, but yeah, Bitcoin is on a tear right now, and I already knew about it, but my father has been like a super cryptocurrency investor, and he showed me his portfolio, and I'm like,
you're kicking yourself in the foot. Yeah.
I'm just giving the look. I'm like, yo, hold up, you got Bitcoin at how much? You got Ethereum. Wait, hold up. How much?
Right.
How much? And I'm sitting back like, yo. He's like, yo, I've been telling you for the last 6 months. I said, I knew about it before you, but I was playing the dividend game when it came to stocks, which is also a good game to play when it comes to money because that's passive income. You're not waiting for something to grow.
Agreed.
You just, if a stock price is $50, it may stay there, but if you invest in it, you're getting dividends. So you're getting every quarter, maybe every monthly or annually, you're getting something in return. For that. When it comes to the cryptocurrency, you're just sitting back and seeing if it'll grow or not.
And a lot of them, even with Tesla and all of them, and there's other options. I can't wait for us to touch on them too, like options and all that type of stuff that people can get into.
Options is
you got to study it, but
that's for another. I'm gonna talk about that when it comes to options because I definitely did the options game and I was a little worried for a second.
Yeah.
I did options with Tesla and how that goes. If it doesn't hit a mark, you lose your money.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily for me, I ain't lose my money.
You ain't lose your money. That's good.
Nah, and I'm feeling good about that. I'll tell y'all the number if y'all really want to know.
He got next trip.
Y'all really
Yeah, he
want to know
does
the
have
number.
next trip.
Y'all really want to know the number.
Okay. We don't need to know the number.
Okay,
You got next
good,
trip.
good,
Yeah,
good.
you got next
What?
trip.
Wait a minute, I didn't even hear about that.
You got
Next
the
trip.
You got next trip.
I'll get around the drinks the next trip.
Off your coins, bro. You balling over there.
He got something.
I got a little, but I know guys that.
I had to sell drugs to get this, so I need to do what you
I know
gotta
guys that have a lot. They showed me theirs, man. This out of pocket. I'm sitting back like, really? I thought I had a lot.
Yo. Well, let's get into the main topic for today. We're going to be talking about COVID, the vaccines that are currently out there. But before we get into that, we want to read our disclaimer so you guys are not holding us liable for anything. Let's get it.
Oh yeah, that's right. UGR disclaimer. Okay, so I'm gonna read this verbatim. What is it? By accessing UGR, by accessing Underground Rail Podcast, I acknowledge that UGR makes no warranty, guarantee, or representation as to the accuracy or sufficiency of the information featured in this podcast. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only. And any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. This podcast should not be considered professional advice. UGR expressly disclaims any and all liability or responsibility for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, consequential, or other damages arising out of any individual's use of, reference to, reliance on, or inability to use this podcast or the information presented in this podcast. Please make an educated decision before you do anything for yourself or your family. It is 100% your choice to make.
You heard that right.
100% your
100% your choice. All right. We're just going to be talking here. Like you said, it's our opinions, but you guys will make an educated decision on your own. So we're going to be talking about Pfizer and Moderna. All right. We won't touch on the J&J because that's not out here yet, but it's close. I think they said either May or April.
Nah, I think
time frame. Closer than that.
Yeah, it's March.
Well, it's coming right around the corner now. Yeah. Look out, April Fool's is coming. I'm just kidding. So let's talk a little bit about Pfizer, Moderna. Let's talk about like the breakdown. So we all know that it's not FDA approved. It hasn't been approved yet. It's on emergency use for right now.
EUA.
And it's still on a trial period. All right. So nothing set in stone, but we're just giving y'all the facts. Y'all use them however you want to. What's inside of it? Let's go over and cover that. Let's see what's inside this vaccine. So there's an mRNA. All right. So pretty much with that, it's a messenger RNA. It has the proteins that activates our immune system to teach us about the spike protein that's in the COVID. And it develops antibodies for the other immunity weapons to which we fight. So pretty much all they're doing is just taking protein from the COVID, making it like attack our immune system, be a foreign object. All right. And then we build the antibodies for it. And then we make sure that we're able to fight it. So it's not the live virus or anything like that. You also have lipids that are also in there, which are, I like to joke and say that they like to slide in DM. You know what I mean? Because they are literally just the coating around it. All right. The external greasy area that pretty much just helps it slide, the mRNA slide into the cells. Okay. Then you have your salts, which help balance the acidity, which is in your body, which we all have. And then you have sugars, right? So Moderna is pretty much the same thing. Everybody agree with that? Moderna pretty much has the same type of thing that are in there. Then you got your efficiency rate. All right, you want to talk about the efficiency, about what's in what?
Me?
I was going to say, before you even talk about efficiency, I'm glad that you took the time out to just kind of identify the ingredients that are in there. A lot of the misconceptions that you hear a lot is that, hey, if I take this vaccine, it's going to alter my DNA. Or, hey, if I take this vaccine, it's going to give me COVID. And like you said, it is not live. So in those things, are not going to. So I'm glad that you touched base on what are the ingredients inside so we can kind of clear up those misconceptions before we go into the efficiency.
Yeah, but even though it's not live, when you get the second one, it's more of the virus than it's the first one. Because the second one is the boost and make sure. That's why some people test positive for COVID after taking the second one, because the body's recognized there is COVID in your body. So that's what like a lot of stuff I've been reading. People are like, oh, people catching COVID right after taking the vaccine. Like, that's stupid. It's like, no, your body's recognizing that COVID's there because the protein is COVID and the actual cell, the protein, the crown, and the actual cell of it is the virus. So some of that's in there, the test is going to recognize and be like, hey, bam.
And two, you still have to be careful because you still have to allow your body to build up that immunity, and which can take over about 4 weeks or so. So you still have to take those preventative measures and stay in the house 6 feet away, wear your mask, things along those lines,
So you're doing that with and without the vaccine, pretty much.
With and without.
So my thing I always talk. So, when COVID first popped off, everyone was like, oh, well, we shouldn't be wearing masks because it's blocking the natural bacteria and all that stuff out in the air. Well, technically, the vaccine is doing what's already naturally happening. When we walk outside, there's different viruses and bacteria out in the air, and our bodies is already sucking it in and taking in and creating antibodies for stuff that's already in the air. The vaccine is just doing the same thing. It's just speeding up the process. Instead of it coming through our mouths or our nose or our eyes or whatever, they're just putting it in our body to speed up the process. So that to me, it makes sense. Oh yeah, I'm taking it too. So yeah, I know I'm taking it.
We just gonna throw it out.
We just gonna get there.
I'm taking it. So I say that to say that the science that I've seen and the science and from what I've read and how I understand that the vaccine works compared to how the human body works, there's no difference. Only difference is they just put the little I guess for the bad lack of words, gel around the protein to put in your body so it can go into your cell. That's the only difference that I see.
Yeah. I know they were saying that like necessarily it has to attach to the right cells.
Correct.
So you are taking a gamble. If you put it in and it doesn't attach to the right cells, doesn't mean that you are vaccinated.
Yeah, but then if I catch COVID, ain't no telling.
Ain't no telling you. There's no telling. Right. There is no telling. very true. That is very true. We are covered though. We are covered.
Right.
The efficiency rate for Pfizer is 95%. It's not that far off from Moderna, which is 94. So you're sitting at a good chance as far as that efficiency rate. And it's only systematic though, or symptomatic, sorry. So pretty much with that, doesn't mean that it's gonna cure you from COVID. All right, you can still get COVID. It's just reducing the symptoms to just make them less severe. So you're not on your deathbed trying to figure out how you're gonna get over this, or a ventilator or something like that. So make sure y'all understand that. It's not, I do want to specify this though. It's not entirely clear because we're hearing that the virus is mutating, right? Other strands. So it's not clear if this virus or this vaccine is going to be able to help you with those other mutated viruses.
Yeah, they said, from what I read again online, they were saying that all the mutations still have proteins on it.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as the protein is in your body still has a fighting chance to fight all of them. But of course, they said the South African variant and the
is it one in South America? That one?
London
or Asia?
Britain. I know that was the
UK
talking about
variant.
UK.
They said pretty much like they've tested those, but and so far it's looking good, but they don't know because another thing I heard, they said every time one person catches COVID, every 10 people that catches it, the variant changes again because the body adds different things to it.
So what you're telling me is that there could be hundreds of different types of variants.
Yes.
So these vaccines,
but
are they that effective?
Yeah, because I believe they are because again, the body is creating something to fight the protein, not the actual like I guess cell for the bad like for the word of the virus. So I believe they are, but I mean of course, everything's not gonna be 100%. No, but I think I'd rather have 75% of my body than
something. Yeah, Dr. Fauci, he even spoke on that. He even said, as numbers are starting to decrease and people are getting the vaccines and things are starting to happen, he's like, don't celebrate just yet.
Right.
Like, let's calm down because there can be different variants of it. Yeah. And we still want to make sure that we're still practicing, good hygiene, those safety measures that we still need to take.
So
we can kind of just, continue. Please don't wash your hands. Well, I think of Blue Streak every single time.
Oh,
that was
I was thinking about that earlier today.
I'm having down the whole telling me and dapping me up anyway. So you better just.
But what's so crazy? When we were coming back from Puerto Rico, there was a lady who literally walked out the women's bathroom. I was so surprised. She
didn't wash her hands.
She didn't wash her hands. I came out the store. I'm washing and then.
But she heard me tell her she didn't wash her hands. She just went act like she didn't hear me say it. Yeah, I know she didn't walk up in here when I wash her hands.
I said,
maybe she had hand sanitizer.
That ain't the same. That ain't the same.
You need soap and hot water.
It's 99 point. What a kill, 99
so
point.
That's just like a bird bath in the shower. Okay.
Hey, let me tell you something. When you gotta get in and get out, you bird bath real quick.
Not on that. Especially if you did number 2. You gotta make sure you get all that stuff off.
I mean, I didn't.
She can wash her hands for 20 seconds like everybody else.
Nah.
Keep practicing good hygiene.
You definitely have to. Definitely have to. And we talked about the 2 shots that are required. So for Pfizer, you need 21 days after the first one. And then for Moderna, you need 28 days.
That second one kicks your butt. The first one just builds you up. Hey, it's in here. Oh, wow, I feel great. That second one, hey, we in this thing. Go ahead and lay down for a little bit. You can Jesus. I have a bunch of friends that are nurses and doctors, and they told me about like everybody. Like I called up, like, how was it? They were like, bro, that second one is like that. It's like a punch in the chest. I'm like, true. So I just know what I gotta look forward to.
I heard about that.
Right. I've been hearing about it. But the good thing that they've been saying about that, obviously, it's not the COVID that's going inside of you. It's just your immune system fighting it. Right. So I want to make that clear so y'all not getting scared. Yeah. Like they're like, oh my God, I got it. So it's just trying to fight it and build your immune system.
But yes, if you definitely have the second shot, please comment. If you are watching us right now on Facebook, let us know your experience. How you're doing, some symptoms, how you're feeling from it. Please share.
Yeah, definitely. And also you can call in to 240-344-3449 if you would like to speak to us live.
A hotline.
A little hotline.
They need to pay the bill on it.
Right. Oh, Lord.
That wasn't a joke.
Little Android. No, you said that wasn't a joke.
No, definitely participate, talk to us. I've seen so many feedback on my Facebook as far as they're getting it, they're not getting it, why they're getting it, why they're not getting it, and it's cool. We're here to talk about everything. We're not going to tell you why you should or shouldn't get it.
I think my issue with people saying they're not getting it. I totally understand the mistrust that the government did to us back in the 1930s something and all that stuff, right?
Yes.
But we're in 2021 now. Things have changed. Laws have changed. People have changed. So I kind of feel. I'm not saying that we can trust the government in 100% as this, but I feel like I feel like things are a lot different now. Like I feel like you don't have to fear as much as you did back then, because if you really pay attention to the Tuskegee experiment, like they went to the neighborhoods to grab the illiterate people to have them to put this in, and they told them, hey, this is what we're going to do, and then other people forced them, was like, this is what you're going to take. They were scared. They didn't really have anything to do. Nowadays, Matt, we ain't gotta say let. You hear the news say take the vaccine, everybody like, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that.
Yeah, that's true.
It is. I feel like it's different. And then two, as I've always said, unless you work in the government, they're not going to force you. And even in the government, they're not going to force you to take it. It's probably going to be public. Public and private is going to be like, hey, bro, we need you to take that vaccine.
Yeah, the only government I think is obviously if you're in the service. So I'm subjected to it at one point in my life. I pray right now.
I definitely agree. It will be some private joint corporations that are like, whoa, you need to go ahead and take this.
Right.
Because they want to save face.
Right.
They want to make sure their profits are staying on point.
Yeah. And you got to think about too, schools.
Yeah.
They require vaccinations. If we're going to travel, maybe airports in certain countries.
Other countries.
Yeah. So it
especially,
happen.
Yeah, definitely tourist spots. There was talk about like COVID passports.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really
the digital passport on your phone.
Yeah,
really?
I don't know if I really I agree with that, because I feel like that's like you crack the door because it's COVID, and then all of a sudden the government comes in and just boom, kicks the door open. Now you can't do anything unless you have these 18 different vaccines.
Right.
I can tell you that won't happen, and this is why.
Okay.
The government don't have personnel to do that, to build those systems and to worry about that system. Because even like the little small stuff they do, they only have the people to do the little small stuff they do. The stimulus package thing, how many times have people called up to the IRS and try to get somebody phone to answer the phone?
Fair enough.
They was quarantined just like that.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that to an extent, because within Western countries, like the media and propaganda, we pay attention to our down limits.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if they come on the nightly news and they're like, oh, listen, people pay attention to that and they trust that type of thing.
But then this is my question: what's the benefit in it?
What do you mean?
Because everything America does has a benefit for it. So what would be the benefit for them to say, hey, now you got to have XYZ to travel, or XYZ to do whatever?
You know, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I really can't answer that question.
Because I feel like every time things are brought up about like what the government may do, you have to find out what the benefit is first, and then you can say, yeah, that'll possibly happen. If there's no benefit in it, it's like 9 times out of 10 it's gonna happen.
I can definitely agree with that, because a lot of times you can't see what they will be benefiting from, you know. But these are people that sit and think about stuff all day. We go to work, they don't. They literally spend hours a day. I don't know who they is. That's what I'm saying.
We can't say that.
We can't say that.
But the thing about it is when you say the government.
Right.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Right. Okay. So, but who? But
that's the thing. We don't know. I don't have. That's the thing. If I had more time during my day to really investigate it, I would have more of an answer. But most people.
But they so top secret that you're not really gonna know.
I know. That's the thing. So that's why we got to remain skeptical.
Working in the branch I work in, they ain't worried about that.
Word?
Like DOD ain't worried about it. DHS ain't worried about it. I worked at DOL. I ain't worked for that long. They might be worried about it.
They might be worried about it.
Probably might be worried about it. But they were so unorganized that they stuff would probably come into effect like 2040. They'd be like, see, you told you, be like, I'm old now. Like,
at this point.
But just the programs that I have been privy to, or that I talk to people that work in them, no one that I've worked with is worried about what's happening homeland. Everybody's worried about foreign. Now,
why is that? Because I feel like we have a whole lot of problems here right now, and they're not even paying attention to it. And I feel like if they gave
money,
half attention to it.
That's what I'm about to say. A lot of it is just money.
That's all this
That's
money.
crazy.
Foreign trade money. This is all money.
So what happens when the U.S. falls? And I say when because I really feel like it is.
It will, so
what happens when? What do they get?
I feel like the U.S. won't fall because the private industry and the government work hand in hand, right? So if you think about back in the day when the banks was started up, I think it was like 1902 or something like that. The millionaires that we had in the U.S. loaned money to the federal government to start the federal, because the federal government's like, we ain't got no money, so they loaned them money. So as long as private billionaires and millionaires have money, the government's never going to die. All the government going to do is tap on their shoulder. Hey, brother.
Okay, so maybe I should rephrase it though. The average American. I think the corporations are going to be straight, but the average Americans, I think average Americans are in trouble.
Oh yeah,
corporations might be like you said. I think they're going to be fine.
Right.
They're going to continue business as usual. So everybody start a corporation and get like 10 people and just
everybody don't need with your ideas. Corporation. Don't have everybody.
Don't have them.
Let me tell you, there's some business I'm so tired of seeing, but we'll talk about that.
We're gonna bring them back. Yeah, we're gonna.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man, so I think one of the things that I was concerned about is the trials and what they were or who they were performed on. So they weren't performed on people with allergies, and I know I'm allergic to everything. If I step out this house, I'm probably allergic to it.
Well, Dr. Fauci said if you got allergies, Dr. Fauci said if you got allergies, don't take it.
Right. So
I do want to know.
Let it be clear.
Yeah, I do want to know one thing though. Like we've been dealing with this since when? March of 2020.
Mm-hmm. It's been
I think that's
a year now. It's about
almost a year.
Yeah.
And it's the only thing I've ever heard was wear a mask, social distance, no unnecessary travel. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. I've never heard, especially from a Dr. Fauci, never heard anything about building your immune system naturally. I never heard anything like that, and I feel like that should have been at least touched on at some point if Dr. Fauci was really about saving people's lives. It's like, okay, well, how about this? You wear your mask, you social distance, but by the way, on top of that, make sure you build your immune system with X, Y, and Z. Why is it that nobody on a national level at all talked about any nutrition? They only talked about the vaccine, which is artificial, and wearing a mask, which is also artificial. But they never talked about nutrition, ever. I'm just really confused about that.
I haven't heard him talk about nutrition more so, but I have him talk about other safety measures that you can take if you were faced with COVID or, to prevent your exposure to COVID or things along those lines.
I was gonna say also I feel like the reason he might not have talked about that is because they didn't know exactly what COVID was. So a doctor friend of mine who works at NIH said that pretty much they briefed Trump's cabinet in 2018 about COVID from what they knew about it at that time. And his office kind of like pushed it to the side, was like, we ain't gonna worry about it. Right, it ain't. He was like, matter of fact, I'm gonna shut y'all down because y'all over here bringing up this buffoonery. But I feel like because it was a foreign source and from what they're researching, they're saying it's coming from an animal. I don't know if our body can naturally build up something to fight off something foreign that we don't know about. We can easily fight off. Well, hell, I mean, half the people can't even fight off the common cold. So if we can't even fight off the common cold, I know we ain't gonna be able to fight off.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was our underlying diseases that we have.
Yes.
Well, that's a big one.
In the black community.
Yes. In the black community.
Yeah, yes. Underlying diseases that are preventable.
Yeah.
A lot of that is well, not all,
right,
but a lot of it is preventable because of the diet that we have.
Education and money is what we need.
Mm-hmm. That too. And then when you have right. this more disposable income, you can actually pay more for the money because they always, when you make more money, you tend to eat better.
Right.
So that's that.
Man. Still, yeah, go ahead.
That's called personal choice at that point.
It really is.
That's called personal choice. If you have some extra dough, you can go ahead and eat a little better. But I would agree, but at the same time, people have been watching our news outlets, our media,
right.
and these people have never. I've watched them religiously. They've never talked about nutrition.
This is the question: Have you heard of any other foreign country advertising what you said?
I haven't paid attention to them
because my thing, I think a lot of people forget in the U.S. that COVID is worldwide. It's
no. It definitely is.
Right. So, but I don't. I mean, I haven't listened either. But I was just wondering, like,
I haven't heard. I live in the U.S.
Right.
So this is the only place I'm going to be concerned about because more than likely I'm not going to travel to London.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? During this time, especially because everything is restricted.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you're going someplace, you better have a reason.
Right.
That's the whole point.
Now I'm curious. When I finish this, I'm gonna research and see
if anybody else
what other foreign countries have said.
Because the funny thing about that, as far as traveling, when this whole thing really started, I want to say back in April of 2020, I started getting emails about traveling within the states or within U.S. territories, and I never knew like how many territories this country has.
We're deep.
And it's like Arctic, tropical, mid-tier. It's crazy. It's like, oh my God, I can travel all these places and not have to worry about a passport. All I need is a driver's. Sign me up.
Yeah.
I do that.
I'm gonna tell you it's boring, but yeah, we in there. Except for Guam and Hawaii. Those two.
I've been to Hawaii. That's dope.
Guam yet. I heard Guam was cool. I've been to Hawaii.
Hawaii's fun.
Hawaii's
dope.
I haven't been to any.
Am I the only one been? But that's
gonna
change.
We'll
take you there.
Spirit flight in now. You
you need to catch
for
$40.
You better pray you make it there on Spirit.
Right.
Pray.
Life jacket.
$40 in the tank of gas. You get on Spirit. You went. Hey, y'all. That was a joke right there. $40 in the tank of gas.
$4 in tank of gas.
You get on Spirit.
Y'all
and you get to
remember
Hawaii.
this
Jet
episode.
skis.
Y'all remember
You
this
better get that jet ski
episode?
too.
You get on Hawaii.
If they don't take me to Hawaii, somebody out there.
Y'all gonna be out there bouncing.
Now I ain't gonna lie. We might have to put you on the wheelchair. Don't ask why. It's just you're gonna have to get on the wheelchair and we get you on the plane.
Oh no.
Wheelchair though? 2 wheels.
Hey. Wait, side note, real quick. I know this has nothing to do with this show, but I just thought about something. Have y'all ever seen anybody on a wheelchair on the airplane?
Nah.
No.
I don't think I ever have.
But I've seen the wheelchair outside of the plane. So
those are people that can walk. Have you ever seen someone that's like in a wheelchair that can't walk that's been on the airplane?
nah.
I'm
not gonna lie to you.
That's a joke.
I think that was a joke.
That's just something to think about. I just want to put that out there.
I don't think I've ever seen.
Look here. Y'all keep going. I just need everybody just think about that.
I
don't think I've ever seen that. That's
you know what? Matter of fact, that's gonna be my status if y'all follow me on Facebook tomorrow. We're gonna talk about that.
We're gonna talk about that one. I'll make sure to share that one too. You know what that was. Oh my God. Also on the child parent, there's not testing pregnant women. They're not testing pregnant women. That's the problem with me. They're doing it now. So as of now, they're doing it. And those that are lactating, women that are lactating. So
they had to cut corners.
Yeah, true.
No.
They also
they didn't test pregnant women, but they didn't test people with allergies.
But
they wanted to push it out as quickly as they could.
But it makes sense though. You test the people that's more susceptible. You test the old people first, and then you test the people who have underlying issues, and then you start going down. Because if you do everybody at once, do you know how much time it takes to get that much data and make sure it's organized?
I can only imagine.
So I mean, it makes sense to me now how they're doing it by tiers.
Yeah.
You know how.
I'm not complaining about it.
But you know, in the military, how everything they do is organized and sectioned off and tier and tier. So it's the same thing. They just like, matter of fact, the military was the people who came up with the vaccine.
I'm cool with it. The only issue I have is the no nutrition part of it. That's the only issue I have.
I agree.
That's the only thing. I really feel like there should have been more discussion about, hey, look, take X, Y, and Z to build your immune system up. I just feel like that should have been said, especially by a Dr. Fauci.
But do we know anyone that has a strong immune system that has not had it or has had it?
Oh, I don't know.
I think the only thing is because that's all we have as a defense mechanism for our body.
I mean,
so
especially
so it's just like build this
March
up
April,
because that's all that we have.
Right.
There was no vaccine at that point, so
Right.
why not say, hey, look, to give yourself a better chance until we get the vaccine, do X, Y, Z instead of just wearing a mask and staying away from every person that you love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was deep.
Never mind, that's a different show.
There's so many conspiracy theories behind that. In quarantine, we talked about it. It's crazy, but
conspiracy theories.
Oh.
Please don't jump on my page no more. I've been holding with y'all up to now, but Jesus.
Oh my goodness. No, I definitely will. So going back to
Come
Pfizer,
on, man.
Wes put her thing, arms.
Forms.
on,
Going back to Pfizer, so pretty much about them, the only difference between them and Moderna is that it has to be cold at a particular temperature, right? It has to be stored at a certain temperature. So my concern with that is that if it's not transported correctly or if it's not set at a certain temperature, and let's say you go in the afternoon and they had brought that thing out in the morning, and by the time it gets to you, it's just not effective anymore.
Right.
You know, and you're thinking in your mind, oh, I'm good. I got my first dose. I got my second. I'm good.
Right.
And then that thing hits you and you on the hospital bed. So
Yeah.
don't, like that's like, you know, finished. You done.
So that's a thought, but you know, if you talk to doctors and nurses, they ethically can't give it out. That's why.
But
that's
they
why.
agree into the of what you're taking.
Huh?
You talking about they can't give it out?
No. So like, if you're paying attention, like what's going on in the news, like a lot of places, like the refrigerator breaks. So what they would do is literally, I think they said after it's out the refrigerator, they have like 5 hours.
Like
it's
5,
it's
6,
small
yeah,
window.
something.
So literally, what they've been doing is taking it and going to people on the street, like, "Hey, you want this? Like, we gotta hurry up and give it before it's out." And then you know, and then some doctors have actually been getting arrested and going to jail because they either giving it out when it broke or giving it out and they wasn't quite sure. So they was like, "Oh nah, bro, we got to show these folks. Come on with us."
Come on.
All I'm trying to do is get
Hold on. What you do? What you do over there?
Because it's not gonna work. It's not.
Those are like
Yo.
So he can do it because his mic is up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna give me a mic stand so I
we
can
don't
do
got
that.
no hands.
We ain't got no
clap.
You just let me know. I got you.
You see that, man?
Right, and that was my only problem because I was doing some research on polio, and it talked about that when they had the first vaccine that ever came out, and on the Western side, there was a company called Cutter's Laboratories, and they had pushed it out, but they literally gave 40,000 children polio. Plus, on top of that, 200 children were paralyzed and 10 were killed just because of the live vaccine that they pushed out, and because it needed to be at a certain temperature. So those are the things that I'm kind of like hesitant.
What years were those?
Literally, this was back in
40s.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's about that.
1930s.
it's a minute ago,
Definitely
but
a
still,
minute
you
ago.
gotta look at your history, though.
You do.
You gotta look at your history.
Right.
I
And
give
so
them the
I
benefit
think
of the doubt
that's
at that
why.
point.
Yeah, but I definitely think now when we look at it, because we're talking about some things that happened in the 1960s, 1930s, even times before then. But I've definitely done some research, and they have put in protections in place to ensure that things like that don't happen again. Starting with first the Office of Human Research Protections, and they they also have independent data safety monitor boards such as the FDA and the CDA AFSIP committee to ensure that things like this don't happen again. So I don't want people to be apprehensive. Know your history, but I don't want people to be apprehensive in thinking that, you know, some of these things can happen again. Because again, like I said, they have put safety measures in board to ensure that we do not repeat history.
Correct.
We're trying to,
So
but
we're trying.
Also, y'all can do our research. I forgot the name of it, but there's a board set up now that you can sue the vaccine companies, but they have a protection up to 5 years. So after 5 years of receiving the vaccine, if it messes you up, you can sue.
We need to push that out there because I was doing some stuff I ain't see about
Yeah.
See that I didn't know about the 5 years part because I was a little pissed off about them not being able to be sued.
So the only thing that gave them the 5 years was the emergency release.
Okay.
So because it did under emergency release, they have like a cushion. But once that cushion is up, you can literally go and file a lawsuit with them. There's two different ways you can do it. It's like one where you can actually like sue like the actual vaccine company, and then you can sue the government through the government. So it's like different routes. Like I said, I can't think of the name of it because I read about this a couple months back, and when you were just talking about that, that's what reminded me of it. Yeah. But there are definitely a lot more protections out now than it was way back in the G. Because back in the day they was in that thing. Oh, you want it? All right, bye. Like, wait, I got another arm going.
We're going to get that so we can push it out there, folks. So
I'll
if they do get it,
that's why it's always important to read. Okay.
Definitely.
Knowledge is power.
Yes, it is.
Put it in a book.
Right.
Put it in
So, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this and why there was only 10% Blacks who participated, and there were 79% white, 21% Hispanic, and 5% Asian who participated in these trials.
Man, isn't it obvious?
The only reason, and I want to say just from history purposes, and we kind of talked about it a little bit about the Tuskegee study or the experiment that happened back in 1932. So if you don't know, obviously we want you to do your own history and search on that, but it was based off of syphilis. All right. So pretty much Jeffrey kind of talked about it a little bit earlier about the men coming there from Macon County, Alabama. And what scared me the most was that the U.S. Public Health Service or Safety was a part of the whole thing. All of their doctors were a part of that. So with that being said, obviously they found out a few years later that penicillin could be used to cure it. However, the doctors took it upon themselves to continue the study because they wanted data, right? Correct. So it was just like, bump it. We don't care about your life. Right. We're trying to get this data and this information. I love my life. But one of the good things that came about that was one of the PHS investigators, Peter Buxton, he ended up going in and telling his supervisor, like, hey, this is unethical. This is not right. We got to do something about it. They decided to just keep it going, which is scary. Like, how are you going to have somebody come to you and tell you this isn't right, unethical, and they keep doing the study? For 40 years, literally. Yeah.
They did it for 40 years.
40 years. From 1932.
After 15 years, they had actually found a cure after 15 years, but they continued to do it.
So they found penicillin was helping out with it, but at 47. So 15 years, she is correct. And then 40 years later, that's when they had to stop.
So in the 1980s.
Yeah, the 70s.
And y'all expect me.
But that's the thing. This is what I want to get to.
Like we said, we have put in some preventative measures to ensure things like that don't happen
ways
again.
Around that. No, there's people there's think tanks all over the place. That's what I'm talking about right there. They went for 40 years. Yeah. What makes you think they will change now?
And the problem is, go ahead.
And here's another thing.
Because those people died out. That's why.
Maybe.
We have a lot more African American representation right now in the FDA and the CDC than we had before.
Right. You don't think they gave talks? You don't think people were influenced by that?
No.
I don't know. No. I can't.
Just like how we talk about the police force, right? We always say that we can't be the change unless we become the change. We become the police officers, become those things. And that's the thing. We have a lot more representation right now. Right. And African Americans.
I need to vet them. I need to vet them too. You gotta vet you can't say every black person is on your side.
Correct.
You can't say that.
But you can't. But how many white people do y'all see saying that about their people?
That's the problem. They don't.
They don't want to vet. They be like, oh no, he's good. He's got us. But us, we be like, man,
we have to.
But the problem is we have to.
I mean, true though.
We do have to.
Because some of us.
Why do you think we have the names Uncle Tom and Sambo? Those
what's the dude?
People like that have.
Well, actually, Uncle Tom was a good thing. But
no, I'm talking about. That's why I said Sambo. I know. That's why I said Sambo.
We can talk about that one day.
We'll talk about that. That's why I said.
Yeah, boss, you don't learn.
I'm on top. But that's what I'm saying, though, man. It's very difficult for at least me. I don't know if others have the same opinion. To be like, okay, lab coat.
But if someone is still alive from the 1920s and they was in the 20s or 30s and they still alive now, if they're still doing medicine, something's wrong. Something's totally wrong. They're just way too old to be doing that.
I definitely pray they're not. I just know that. I just know some of their practices, their mindset, all of that. It still gets passed down.
Right. Like that's what I'm saying.
Just like racism, it gets passed down.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say that when you say like they've died out, they've had people that they've given those.
Like, you got the black folks in office now. Like, hey, y'all was in there doing that, baby. Hey, it's changed up now. We about to shut this whole. Matter of fact, question because I forgot the date. I don't know why. What year were slaves free?
1865.
1865, right? And this started in 1920s.
1932.
Right? Yeah. 1932.
During the Jim Crow era.
We still weren't even really free then.
No, because we were still Jim Crow.
Not to make that an excuse, but I'm saying it's different now because we weren't even really free back then. So like we were forced to do that. Now, like I said, we do that now. Like, nah, you got to swing with the hands, bro. Like seriously, like,
I'll give that benefit. I'll give the only reason why I'll have some pullback on that is because a lot of us in our community are still
Uncle Ruckus.
Yes,
yeah,
not just that, sure. but like it's just like the white man's ice is colder.
I can
it's still to this point, and it's kind of and it baffles me when people know the history. It's like, yo, you know what happened. Yeah. It's in a textbook. They have written it in their books that they give to you to read, and still.
But everyone's experience is different. That's what makes it
Fair enough.
Because I mean, a lot of us growing up in Montgomery County, some of us might have grew up in bad neighborhoods to our standard.
Mhm.
But like our bad neighborhoods still had running water. You got people in bad neighborhoods, then you got running water. So it's so like but I agree with you. Like that bothers me sometimes too. I'm like, bro, don't you see this? And then they're like, yeah, but I didn't grow up like that. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Can't get mad at you that much.
You
But
can't.
I'm still mad at you because you don't have any type of sympathy from what I see. Right,
Express
so
some type of empathy.
Right, just a little bit. Just you like, God, dog. I'm
Outside
sorry
of
for you.
yourself.
My bad. But other than that, they're probably like, I don't care. I got a car. I got some
That's
water.
because we just selfish Americans.
Yeah,
I don't know how to be selfish.
Girl, you better talk
You
y'all
know,
stuff.
I'm telling y'all, definitely traveling. This is why I know I'm going off topic, but the importance of traveling, being able to really see how people live and their lifestyles, and people are selfless. Out in different countries, they got food banks. They leaving stuff out for the dogs. They're helping one another.
Look how much advertising we spoke to. I remember reading somewhere a few years back. The average American is exposed to 3,000 ads per day. We're told constantly to buy, consume.
Yeah.
And if you don't buy this, or if you don't have a house with a 2-car garage and 5 bedrooms, even though it's just you and your wife or your husband. You know what I'm saying? Then you ain't ish.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I feel like that's changing with us though.
No,
Like
you're
generation.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
why?
I
I see so many people with the whole minimalist thing
Yeah.
because I'm definitely a minimalist.
Yeah.
I don't need. Give me an apartment,
Right.
maybe 2 bedrooms, just so I can have an office.
How many
Other than
apartment
that,
buildings you see around this joint? Like it's
You see a lot of
It's a
them.
lot of
A lot of
apartments.
people are not
And
trying to
people
buy
jumping smooth with them. Just like, all right, well,
Yeah,
got my
man,
little-
you
Get a roommate.
Right,
Like, we
right,
good to go.
right.
I do want to Savon, because you slacking, man. You supposed to be looking at these comments, but they right here.
They're not even there.
They are there. You gotta hit the button. Blacked out. Come on, man. Wes said Clarence Thomas is our Supreme Court justice, and some of his opinions are horrendous. So what we were just
Oh,
talking
nah,
about.
Clarence Thomas out of pocket. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
Clarence.
You know what I'm saying? We were just talking about,
Yeah,
you know, black people that are
Because
representing us.
He spends too much time around non-us.
Thank you, Wes.
But okay. So the same theory I have on Clarence Thomas is the same theory I have on Kamala Harris. Reason being,
Yeah.
you don't know what everyone's agenda is in life, right?
Sure.
Like, no.
So regardless of which way they sway, hey, I'm going to get these drugs off the street in the black community. One side can be happy, but the other side can be mad. But if they sway the other way, I ain't gonna bother y'all. Then the one side's like, well, what are you doing? So it's like
Chameleons.
when you're in those positions, you can't just focus on one community, which is understandable, right? But you gotta. But it looks bad when it's someone of your race.
It does.
Nah,
you hear a lot of those things.
Well, here's the thing, man. Because okay, let's look at Kamala Harris, for instance. Like her being vice president, all right, history making.
Mm-hmm.
Let's acknowledge that. But being part of being a part of the administration that she's a part of, it seems like actually, Joe Biden did 45, I think, between 40 and 45 executive orders. None of them none of the executive orders was specifically for black people.
Yes, they were.
I haven't. Okay.
They were.
Well, I have. Okay.
Yeah,
well, I would like to know which
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
I'd like to know which ones.
I can tell you one off the top of my head is the DOJ not renewing their contracts with private prisons. That's one.
Okay.
That right there is 100% going to affect the black community. The other one was the talks of getting rid of the private credit bureaus and moving it to federalized. A lot of people aren't with that, but to me, that's
not popular. That's not public. That's not
right.
really talked about.
Right.
Okay. Fair enough.
So
I've never heard.
It's like it is, but it isn't. Like you gotta look. You gotta because I mean I'm again working with the working.
Okay,
that's
okay.
Fair
enough. But I'm just saying the ones that are always like plastered.
Agree.
Have nothing to do.
Agree with the black community.
Black community. Now, I would like to see something specifically for black people. You know what I'm saying? Especially since black people vote Democrat 75 to 98% of the time.
So I feel like the issue with black people.
That's wild.
I feel like the issues with black people is we don't have a unified one. That's our issue. What do we want? Unified. Like
the only thing.
All four of us sit right here. What can we think about that all black people want?
I don't want these student loans. I don't know about you. But
But that's not black. But that's not specifically
It's not
for black
specifically
people.
for
Black people
black
talking
people.
about uniquely black problem.
Right. Yeah.
A uniquely black problem. The only thing that I ever talk about when it comes to like situations or conversations like this is economics. That's all I care about. I all this other symbolism. Oh, we got a black person in this position. I don't give a damn about that at all. That black person will be in that position and do whatever white person wants to say. I can care less.
Right.
What are we talking about when it comes to economic opportunities? That's the only thing that matters, because once that is solved, you can solve like 10 other problems with that.
Agreed.
That's true.
Agreed. But I'm still trying to see if we can think of a
No. You got a point. The
issue.
only thing I can maybe think of off the top of my head is maybe reparations.
But that right there will bankrupt the whole U.S.
You got a point there. This is the reason why
Shoot,
I have
COVID
this.
bankrupting us.
No, he's got a point.
No, it will.
If
It really
they
would.
didn't-
You just got to figure out how you're
If
going to do it.
they would have done it when they actually said they was going to do it right after 1865, we would have been fine. We wouldn't be having this conversation.
They couldn't, because Lincoln got shot, and then the man after him was like, "Go ahead, shut that down."
Exactly.
But also think about this, right? We always talk about we want reparations. You know, once they give us reparations, we can't complain anymore.
No, we can't.
Know that they gonna give you the money. Here your money. Now shut up.
No, you got a point there.
And everybody's still gonna be trying to complain.
Complaining.
No. Hey, you know what?
Okay,
You're
it's
absolutely
too
right.
long.
But I feel like because I have a theory, not
Yeah,
really
that
a
loan
theory,
forgiveness.
but a semi plan for that.
Okay.
And I could really, it's too long to really explain, but I really wish that we can have an episode where I can actually sit down and maybe spend about 30 minutes. I'm gonna need at least that.
Okay, my man got a whole
Because
class on
no,
that.
He gonna give a PowerPoint presentation and all. Y'all gonna get it all.
I don't know about a PowerPoint.
Hey, look here, I'm gonna be like this.
I will give
Okay.
3. I will give 3 to 4 points that it's gonna be very difficult to refute.
Okay.
And I'm stand on that.
Let's talk.
I'm with it.
I
I'm
All
with
right. So we'll wait
like
like
refuting.
episodes down the line. But I'm serious. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure it's solid. So when we talk about it, so if people have questions, especially on the live and whatnot, we can talk about it. But I definitely have a whole thing that I'm
gonna just tell Von's not doing his job. Let's just put it
Not
really
even
clear.
comments.
I'm not. Hold up. I've been trying to read them.
My bad.
I can't see.
My man had
I need
one
my
job.
glasses. Hold up. What we
I
got?
said read the comments that come your way
That is hilarious.
Come my way. Hold up. Reparations should not be a man.
on the tablet. The tablet over there.
Monetary handout.
It's black. I can't see it. I've been trying to click it, and I don't want you to say your password over the
Hey,
live.
2.
No.
I'm just like,
We gonna get that thing straight down.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing
That
it.
is hilarious.
all right.
What they comment say?
I see that part.
She said reparations should not be a monetary handout.
And every white person does
Agreed.
not deserve
Yeah.
reparations, just like every white
Agreed.
person didn't own slaves. Underground Railroad
Agreed.
was not only black people.
So yeah, I was gonna say that too, right? Because and another reason why they won't give out
Because of the
reparations.
agents.
Well, another reason why they give out what year do you start, right? Because think about a black family that comes in the 1900s. Do they get reparations? And then white people will be getting reparations. Spanish people will be getting reparations. There's a whole list of people that will
All
be
right.
getting
Let me.
reparations.
Okay. Let me give you a preliminary of the episode. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, and I know this might rattle some feathers, I don't think that reparations should start from slavery.
Well, then what we getting money for?
See, and that's the funny thing. No one's ever talked about this part of it.
Hey, we're gonna leave y'all with a cliffhanger because we're gonna come back to that next
We're
week.
gonna come back. No, seriously. Let's come back to that because no one ever talks about it. Everyone literally always says reparations for slavery, but they don't talk about. I'm gonna talk to you about that. I'm telling you. Because honestly, this is what I'm talking about. I really think.
I don't like cliffhangers.
No, we're gonna
I'm
leave
about
it
to
that.
flip this whole place around.
No, cliffhangers.
I
Now,
need to
we're
know.
gonna leave
You gotta
it
come
just
back.
like that. We're gonna leave
Are
it
you a
just like
binger?
that.
You seem like a binger. I'm a binger, so I don't like.
No,
I'm a
okay,
binger.
We're gonna leave it just like
Oh,
that.
We're gonna-
Thursdays.
And
We're
next
gonna-
week, next week, if y'all would allow me the time, we don't need the whole 30 minutes, but
We'll
I'll
still
give
have
y'all
the time.
I'll give y'all, I think it's 4 points.
No, that's fine.
4 points.
That's fine.
If y'all
During your segment.
During your segment.
during my segment, I'm not even gonna talk about
After
the
on this day with day, you got it.
You better not come here. You better not come here with no Dr. Umar stuff because I'm gonna walk out of here.
No. 'Cause I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna come in here with Ron Walker stuff. I'm telling you.
I like it.
because it's wild to me that it's incredible that no one, well, at least from my point of view, from
Right.
what I've seen,
Right.
no one has said this.
Right.
But I'm gonna need
like-
you. But before you do it, because we don't want to be sitting here like, oh, can you send us the information first?
Oh yeah, y'all gonna,
We're not gonna leak it.
Y'all
Okay.
gonna see it.
I'm leaking it. I'm sorry.
Oh, see, we're gonna have to give him
Let
an
me be that
NDA
person. I'm leaking
on the show that he's currently
Hey, y'all, follow
on.
me, Jeff Jackson Jr. If you want to find out what Von talking about. I'm leaking everything.
Yo.
That's crazy.
I'm making this Bitcoin information, all that.
Everything.
Okay.
Literally, I need them coins. But guys, we literally talked about the COVID vaccine, and it's up to you. Honestly, it's
Uh-huh.
your choice. I've decided to wait a little bit until more research is coming out. I'm not going to be the first one to run out there and get it. I'm just waiting, educating myself even more, seeing what more research comes out,
Mhm.
and until my job tells me, come here, you got to get the shot. Whatever. It's mandatory. You know what I
I'm
mean?
researching until my job tells me to come
Until
take
my
it.
job tells me. And then I might hit them. I can't get my. That's a cliffhanger there.
There you go.
Because I have something I can hit them with. So
I'm
Yeah,
snitching on
definitely.
that too. I'm
Damn.
snitching the group, y'all.
Don't tell him nothing until
Just
next
know
Monday. Don't tell
Everything
him nothing.
because they pay snitches. Don't worry.
Definitely.
That's cliffhanger.
yes. So,
Yeah.
do your research. I don't know if
do your
anybody
research,
said.
but I'm not opposed to it. I'm definitely will consider getting the vaccine again for myself. I just want to wait a little bit longer as they do research. I know a lot of people they talked about too, the minority community that are essential workers that are here in like fast food restaurants that don't have the flexibility to be able to work from home and kind of balance out your days. Just really think about your options and think what's best for you and your family. I, fortunately have the ability to be out until July. So that's also too another reason why I'm not rushing to get the vaccine too as well. That way they can do their research, keeping the kids home from school during this time and duration. We're going to keep practicing the safety measures. I just want to kind of like, like the Xbox and the PlayStation 4, I gotta get the bugs out the way. I gotta see what's going on with y'all first, see how y'all come out.
See how that iPhone 12, how that
Exactly.
it's glitchy.
Get all the
It's
glitches
all right.
and stuff out. And
My
then, be ready for round 2. So, definitely do your research, guys.
For sure. Vaughn, how about you? How you sitting over there?
I'm gonna go ahead and wait till Bill Gates take it,
Yeah.
and we'll see what him and Melinda feel like afterwards.
That's real talk. I mean,
I'm just gonna tell you that's how I'm feeling.
that's it.
Is everybody safe?
Oh yeah. You already know. I'm
Yeah.
taking it.
That's just the key.
Reason. Nah.
Why are you looking around?
You gotta go there.
Because I'm taking it. If somebody opened the door like they was gonna stab me in my arm with it, but I'm taking it. I mean, I've done my research that I feel is important on it. I've spoken to doctors and nurses that I know. And then another thing, I mean, I'm not in the military, but I have deployed, and you got pre-deployment shots, and I've gotten like at least 12. You get at least 12.
Well, see, that makes
beforehand.
sense. I
Right.
see why you're
Right.
in the mindset.
And when they stabbed in my arm for that and that
It is
year,
what it
like
is.
I'm still good. I ain't nothing. I mean, my arm was swollen afterwards. I was in that thing like this.
Oh yeah, you get about 20
But,
shots.
yeah,
Easy.
yeah, they be in that thing. But they gave me an anthrax shot,
Oh,
yellow
wow.
fever.
Y'all that TB, you know, all of that.
I got all my hepatitis shots. So I was like, you know what? If all them trying to stab me, I'm good.
And you don't even realize they just put you in line. You gotta keep walking.
Right? they came out.
Follow the line.
They came out with a tray.
Stabbing you with the
They came out with a tray that looked like a
syringe.
the little ice cream tray. They put that thing down. It was just like, she was like, okay, you ready? I was like, I guess. And she was in that thing, stop. Let me get that. Yeah. So I was like, I said, can we get to this arm, please? She
That's a
said, yeah.
contract.
I was like,
Jeez.
No.
But y'all guys, do it for yourself. We're gonna go into the
Please,
needy
please.
hydration because we already running. We got these kids here. Can't keep the babies out late. But the needy hydration is truth loves. The most common saying is truth hurts, and it's true. But I want you to also see why truth from your friends is love. There are times that you will not agree with your friends, and that is completely fine. Your friends should be understanding and knowing that it's okay to have differences on situations. And just because I don't agree doesn't mean that I do not have your back. A true friend will keep it real 100%. A real friend will be honest and not sugarcoat a thing. It might hurt, but just remember, it is completely out of love. Be honest. Would you want a friend who agreed with you the entire time? Would y'all want one?
Mm-mm.
I'm just saying.
Nah, I think it would be boring.
It'd be boring. I'm like, you agree with me all the time, even though I know I'm wrong. I can't do that. So I know I wouldn't. I want a friend who will tell me about myself right wrong, imperfections, support, and honesty. Listen to your intuitions. You know when someone is telling you something out of love or jealousy. On the contrary, friends, make sure you are honest with them, no matter how much it hurts. It's better to tell them that you're not telling them that you'll be walking around on earth, or I'm sorry, let me repeat that. It's better to tell them than to not tell them, and they're walking around this earth not being the best version of themselves. Let's all play our part. Truth, love. So that is UGR. Little clap, clap, clap. Little. Get you through the week. Be honest with your friends. Love on your friends. And it's all out of love. All right.
Hydration right there.
That's it.
I feel that.
Spread love, guys. Spread love.
I can dig it.
Guys, until like for real, honestly, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you go on there. It's _underground rail. Also, hit us up on YouTube. We trying to get up to what? Vaughn, we trying to get to 1,000.
We need 1,000.
Come on, y'all. Share it with
We need
a friend.
1,000 before the winter's over. How about that?
Before the winter's over.
Before the winter's
That's
over.
dope. We can do that.
What's
We're gonna be able to do it like 3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, we can
need
do that.
1,000.
Shoot, by Thursday, it's supposed to be 60. I'm wearing shorts.
Let's do it.
Flip-flops.
Let's do it. Let's do
Go
it.
ahead, sure. So you on your own with that, man. You on your own.
Yo, make sure you guys tune in next week. We'll make sure to actually start at 7:30, and we're gonna have. It's gonna be Women's Month, so we're gonna have some women on the show throughout, and have another content for you. So make sure y'all tune in, share, and like and subscribe. We love you guys.
Thank you guys. Peace out.
Peace.
Follow me, Katrina Day. Cash App the same too.